To begin this video, I feel like it's only proper to ask a very nostalgic question. What lure got you hooked on fishing? I'm sure for all of us there was one lure, one experience, one fish caught or lost that triggered something deep inside that made you say, dang, that was fun, let's do it again. So in this video, I want to share with you the lure that got me hooked on fishing, the story that accompanies that lure of the awesome fishing day, and how you can use that lure to your advantage to catch fish no matter where you live. My name is Tyler, and let's talk about it. Another giant, another giant. Look at that, y'all. I can't believe what I just caught. Yes! So I feel like every fisherman out there has an origin story. Matter of fact, fishermen are probably the best at telling stories, half of which are fabricated and wrong, but they're still stories regardless. And so I want to go back to the very beginning of how I first started fishing and what lure I wouldn't say I choose, I was handed that gave me the experience of why I'm obsessed with fishing still to this day. So I grew up in Austin, Texas, fishing on Lake Travis. My family had a lake property with a dock and a mobile home on it that we would go out, every weekend in the summertime. And I would sit on my grandpa's lap and he would teach me how to make a bread ball and thread it on a hook to catch bluegill and crappie. We would drop live minnows down and catch catfish and bass. I had a whole bunch of fishing experience from a very young age, but it wasn't until a certain experience when I was handed a certain lure, which we're gonna talk about here in a second, that fishing went from a passion to an actual obsession. And that kind of revolved around the time that I joined Boy Scouts. Yes, Tyler's Real Fishing is an Eagle Scout, Scout's honor. Do a good turn daily, be prepared, all the above. But in my first year in the Boy Scout troop, they told us they had access, or somebody had access to a big hunting and fishing ranch. And so they call it the fishing campout, where we set up our tents near the pond. It's a simple farm stock tank, looks something like what you see on your screen right here. And it was full of bass. But getting there, I had no idea. I just knew that I was good at fishing. My grandpa had taught me how to fish. I had fished hundreds of days of my life. And so I'm gonna go out there and just crush them. In the evening we arrive after we set up our tents, I'm fishing and not really catching many fish, but my buddy who I had made in Boy Scouts named Clark, he was catching fish after fish after fish on a certain little pre-rigged swim bait, kind of like the one you see on your screen right here. Now this swim bait, while not being the exact same one, we'll talk about which one that was here in a second, was just an absolute fish catcher, and Clark had two of them. And so I said, hey, I know you only got two, but can I have the other one to fish with because I haven't caught any fish yet? And he said yes. So throughout the rest of the Boy Scout campout, we probably caught 50 bass each. We absolutely smoked the entire rest of the Boy Scout troop combined on a swim bait like this. So we didn't catch a single fish over 2 pounds probably. It was a nothing but dinks pond, but that individual weekend, probably catching, like I said, 50 bass, really ignited my passion, not just for bass fishing, but for fishing as a whole, because this exact style of lure just catches the snot out of every single species of fish. Now, it's been over a decade since I actually fished with the exact brand that I was throwing, and I was pretty sure it was made by Konami Baits, which was, I believe, part of, if not later bought by Gary Yamamoto Baits. And in all my research for this video, I could not find a single picture of a Konami pre-rigged clear swim bait until I realized I was thinking Konami. I think it was actually Tsunami. And the second that I saw the picture of that package on Google Images, I said, that is the one that ignited my love for fishing. And I'm sure if I was to call Clark right now, that lure ignited his love for fishing as well. We both would go on to own many packages of these swim baits, and they would catch everything: largemouth, spotted bass, Guadalupes, white bass, stripers, crappie, catfish, carp. Everything would bite this swim bait, which really led to a whole lot of awesome memories that I still hold dear in my head about the pre-rigged swim bait. But since then, maybe getting into tournament fishing or moving to East Texas before I went to college at Texas A&M, the water wasn't as clear out there as it was where I grew up in Austin, and so I just didn't have as many opportunities, and I chose to fish other lures besides this one right here. But just like every fishing story, it's hard to forget them, and I could not forget about this swim bait for too long. That's why I'm pulling it out today. We're gonna go on the water and, of course, catch a few fish, but teach you guys a few things about why this lure was so special to me over the years. So like I said, I want to teach you guys a little bit about fishing pre-rigged paddle tail swim baits. And as much as I would like to go full nostalgia mode and fish the exact same Konami swim bait I had, like I said, that's no longer an option. They don't make it anymore. So, and like I mentioned, they might not have made them at all because I don't think it was actually Konami, it was Tsunami. But I didn't know that. when I film the video. So carry on. I'm gonna swivel behind me here, grab myself a bag of different pre-rigged swim baits. We're gonna tie 2 different ones up, probably 2 different weights, and get to catching some fish. So the 2 that we have are the brand new Strike King homing minnow. You can see it right there. And we have the Storm, I believe it's called the Swim Shad, no, the Wild Eye Swim Shad. And this one is a slightly larger version, and honestly, it doesn't look as good, but it's the same size and shape. It just kind of scaled up as the Konami one that I used to throw. I've got 2 colors here. I've got a clear one, and I've got a more shad colored one. I don't know if it necessarily matters, but I'm gonna go with the more clear one because the water is really clear today. So this one, for again nostalgia reasons, is going to be tied on 1 rod, and then the rest of them are the Strike King homing minnow. It's kind of a higher quality version, more slender bait fish presentation, and they designed this thing for the everyday angler. So your pond fisherman, your kayak fisherman, and you guys in bass boats with forward facing sonar. Mostly 1/8 in the 3-inch version, which honestly is what I would throw most of the time, but because this body of water I'm fishing today is so deep, I want to find 1/4 ounce. I mean, look at that thing. That is absolutely juicy. I'm gonna catch the snot out of some fish on this thing. I think I'll put the Wild Eye on the bait caster because, again, growing up, that's exactly the setup I threw. Probably overpowered, medium heavy bait caster for a small swim bait like this, but that's the nostalgia. Always gotta grab the actual hook portion, not the bait, when you're tying on a pre-rigged swim bait, because otherwise you grab the soft bait and yank your main line to tie the knot, and you're gonna end up pulling the bait apart internally. And with a little push, we are off. Let's catch a nostalgic bass. Oh, I had one. I had one. What a light bite. Oh, come on. That is 2 bites now to 0 hookups. I'm now reminded of why I don't throw this exact swim bait anymore, because it gets bites, and it almost feels like I'm fishing a vibrating jig. Like the tail on this thing really does thump. So when you get a bite or snag some grass, you know it. That vibration is gone. But hopefully 3rd time's the charm. We actually hook up with one this time. There we go. 3rd time. Oh my goodness. 3rd time was the charm to get a bite, but I lost him again. Goodness gracious, this thing does not get a good hookup ratio. It feels awesome to retrieve, but it can't catch diddly. There we go. Oh my gosh. You're ruining the nostalgia moment, dude. That's what, 4 now? Holy smokes. Oh gosh. Okay. We're gonna try the other swim bait. This is not working. I know there are some bass right here, and maybe the more open, wide gap of the Strike King one will catch us some fish, because there's a few in this pocket. There we go. There we go, baby. Yes, sir. First bite on the Strike King one, and this is not a dig at all at the Storm. That body shape holds some nostalgia for me, but man, this one absolutely choked it and just got it down the gullet. So unintentional promotion here for the Strike King one, but it is absolutely down the gullet. First bite, first hookup on lighter line on a spinning rod. Although maybe that's potentially why I'm missing them, because my line's too heavy. I don't know. All right, drop shot break. All right. This video is not about the drop shot. I just wanted to see if I could catch one, and I could. Junker, my friend, goodness. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Strike King. Finesse worm. I've been using the same worm for 4 fishing days, by the way. That hook got him, holy cow. Beautiful. I mean, just look at the chunkiness of that bass. And I've been using the same exact worm for 4 fishing days, my friends. Still haven't changed it. Talk about bang for your buck. All right, back to the swim bait. I'm gonna give the Storm classic shape another try. But I swear, if I get 1 or 2 more missed fish, not only am I gonna be sad because I missed fish, but 2, I'm gonna be sad that the bait that I somehow caught so many on as a kid just doesn't work like I thought it did. There we go. There we go. Maybe I gotta give him the business a little more. And it's also possible that this size fish was plugging me the first few bites. So no wonder I lost him, because that guy ate it roof of the mouth and he was pinned. And that bite that just loads up almost like a crankbait reminds me of the old days. Oh no. Now this was definitely a problem in my youth years, getting this exact bait snagged, because it is about the least weedless thing possible. I guess right behind like a empty treble hook is probably this thing. One of my biggest problems so far with both these swim baits is retrieving it slow enough to keep it down there in the water column. It's so easy to cast, immediately start retrieving, but these things just don't fish that deep. They're kind of shallow water baits. I mean, like, that was a regular speed retrieve and I'm within 1 foot of the top of the water, basically the second half of my cast. So with this bait, you really have to focus on letting it hit the bottom if you can, if your bottom composition allows, and then slowly starting a retrieve and just inching it back to you, making sure you know the minimum speed required to keep the paddle tail going. But I mean, man, that's even slow and I'm within a foot of the top. I really gotta retrieve this thing extra slow. Oh, there was one. The second I slowed way down, got it closer to the bottom, I got a bite. Coincidence? I think not. Ooh, there we go. Slow retrieve. Got me a chunk on the homing minnow. What a jumper. What a jumper. Thank you, friend, for giving me some good memories. And one thing I'll say about these types of swim baits is that it usually gets them in the roof of the mouth. So if they're hooked good, they're hooked good. But one of the downsides is that right there, is that if you manhandle it like I just did, you can easily poke the harness out of the bait, effectively ruining it. I can kind of push it up a little bit, probably get 1 or 2 more fish out of it, but you really got to be careful and grab the hook and not the head like I just did. But I was in a rush and I broke it. Ooh, oh man. There's a whole big one, yes sir. Such a light bite for such a nice sized fish. Oh my goodness. Do not get me stuck. Do not get me stuck. Wow. I mean, I'm in what, 3.5 feet of water, slowly retrieving this thing. One of the biggest ones I've caught out here. Let's go. Get in here. Yes, sir. Look at that. 3.5 pounder swim bait. Even though it was broken, I stuffed it back in there. Roof of the mouth. That sucker was not coming off. And even on a light bite, I gave him the business and got that fish in the boat. Man, I do not throw. Oh no, I should have, oh, dang it. I should have put him on my board. Trying to compete in my own dang tournament and I forget to do that. Dang it. Oh well, maybe I'll catch some more. This swim bait is definitely on its last limb here. That's the one thing about pre-rigged swim baits, is that they are usually not that durable. So I'm surprised I've caught, what, 3 or 4 on it and got a handful of other bites. And yeah, 1 cast out and it's torn. So here, you know what, I'm gonna put this one away, go back to the storm just for a few casts. Like I mentioned earlier, my tackle is always linked in the video description. So from the bait casting combo I'm throwing, that honestly, price-wise is more expensive than the one I was throwing, 15 years ago, but in terms of the size and the action, very similar. I think I was on a 6.6 medium was my first spinning rod. And so it feels, at least the bite and the hook set feel very similar, very nostalgic to how it used to be. And I'll have the spinning combo I'm throwing linked down there as well. Those are affiliate links, so y'all are probably sick of hearing me say it, but it's one of the ways that I make a living. If y'all shop for tackle at Tackle Warehouse, go ahead and use those links. That would mean a lot to me and my family. There's one. There's one. Working this thing off the deep edge. Goodness, that's what a chunky bass. Oh gosh, get in here. Absolutely smoked it. Saw nothing on scope, just saw a nice drop off as I stood up and thought, I'm gonna let this thing sink down there all the way to the bottom. And when I did, look at that. The nostalgic version, the Storm Wild Eye, got him deep. Just a beautiful 2-pounder. Way off the drop, falling into, how deep are we out there? Man, like 20 feet, and just retrieving it straight up. That fish was sitting somewhere down there on a rock or on a piece of grass on the edge. As I paddle, I'm gonna tie on an even heavier version. I think I have like a 3/4 ounce. These bass are deep dwellers. I need the heaviest one possible. Oh, there we go. Got knocked. Right off the bank, it's like 25 feet. And I needed to get something a little heavier to make sure I stay down there. And this fish right here is a direct result of doing just that. A little bit heavier, homing minnow. My phone is blowing up. Don't y'all know I'm working? And I think we found the bait, everybody. I've definitely found the pattern though. You cast out there, let it sink all the way to the bottom. The grass kind of dies in that 8 to 10 foot mark. Oh my goodness. And I got one on the fall. They are stacked by that tree over there. I'm having so much fun. This is great. If you need the kid or the grandkid in your life to catch a bass, just put one of these things on. You may not catch the biggest, and you tell them just to lean when they feel something fight back, they're gonna catch some fish and have a good time, just like I did all those years ago. I need pliers, man. Do not want to break the bait. Oh, perfect. That's way easier. Should have been doing that the whole time. Let me get another cast out there. No way. Oh my goodness. 3 in a row. Is this one big? Yes. Not huge, but bigger. Beautiful fish. There must be a skoo over there. Thank you, friend. Oh man, I'm having fun. A skinny boy. Matter of fact, I'm gonna put him on the board. If y'all didn't know, I run an online tournament, a free online tournament through the Fishing Chaos mobile app and platform all year long. It's free to enter, and every single month, the winner of each region, based on whatever the qualifications are for that month, top 3 length, top 5 length, wins a Mach combo of your choice. 16 1/4. If y'all want to check out my free tournament, I will leave that link down in the video description. It's an awesome way for y'all to get involved in tournament fishing without needing a bass boat. You can even compete from the bank. All you have to have is a qualified measuring board. I will also leave my favorite one linked in the video description. You just want to have one that measures measures to the 1/4 inch. That way you can get the longest measures of each fish possible. And having an official board, it makes it super easy to judge the catches on Fishing Chaos' side. But again, open to everybody, and it's 100% free. That was awesome. That was cool. I saw 2 following it in with my eye scope, and I just dropped it, and one nailed it. Man, they just eat it down the hatch. I mean, look at that. Hook gets them in the back, top of the mouth every time. And I'm trying to be real careful to not break it going forward. I've already gotten more fish out of this one than I did the other one. What a time. What a fun time. If y'all aren't subscribed, you're missing out. Go ahead and hit that button. It costs you nothing and helps continue this channel growing. And, hitting the like button and commenting something, all of the above. What we in the industry call engagement. Oh, I've got one the whole time. And I think it's big. I think it's big. I cast way out to the edge. Way out to the edge. Come on now. Okay, not huge, but a nice one to finish the video on. Oh, I pulled him out of like 30 feet. Goodness. Well, what a fat, beautiful wintertime swim bait eating fish to finish this video on. Hopefully you all enjoyed and learned something. This video is less about learning, at least to me, more about nostalgia, but of course, as always, I hope you became a better bass angler today. But now that I've shared my story of how I got started bass fishing, what my lure, my starting lure was, I want to hear your story. So I don't care how long it takes to type it, I want to read all y'all's comments down below on what lure, what experience, what moment got you hooked on bass fishing, that catching bass like this became everything you wanted to do, just like it is for me. My name's Tyler. As always, it's a pleasure. I will leave my 5 version of this right here, the Alabama rig, my master class teaching you guys everything you have to know about fishing this bait right here. I'll leave that up here in the corner. It's a clickable link, and we'll see y'all next time right here on TRF.